questions.
Not this time.
There we go.
Great presentation. What, we talked about us being a government town. What is the role of government in creativity? And how can local government and then maybe how can we influence our state government?
So number one, it's an asset for us in this city. We're the capital of the 6th largest economy. It depends on what day you're talking about as to what number it is. Rather than saying, I don't want to be government, let's take advantage of the fact that the government's here. We are a Goldilocks city, you guys. This is a Goldilocks city. In other words, we have every aspect to test and try new things. Every social portion that you can find across the country is here in Sacramento. And most importantly, you also have the ability to influence through action. That's why those autonomous cars go to the airport, so that the legislators can get picked up, because they go back to their incumbents every weekend. They're going to get influenced by actually riding in those cars if it happens. What is the role of government in creativity? I get hot in here. The role of government in creativity is to make pathways, to clear pathways, and to make available some of the funds at times. I think the best thing for us to do is ask that question of ourselves and figure it out. Demand those changes. And always hold me accountable for talking up here. Hold all of us, everybody accountable that you see laying out something in front of them. It's leadership is what it comes down to, Liz. Hi, Liz. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, usually it's on technology. Or design. Yep. No joke. What the hell's that? No joke. Sorry, it's a little warm. John, Sacramento's my home. Like I said, in the back, these are a little washed out, but in the back of every slide that I do now has an artist from Sacramento, or all kinds of different artists from Sacramento. I rep Sacramento as hard as I do in this room right now. But often, my subject is around blockchain technology or some of the research and development that we're doing. But in the end of it, I'm always going to come to Sacramento. When we're at MIT, we work with MIT quite a bit, the Media Labs. It's all about why you need to move to Sacramento. Every single time. Yep. Was government on board with? Are they on board, and what kind of steps are you seeing to actually make that happen? So yes, they've outwardly spoken that they're on board. We need to push harder. But government wasn't the first place to be on board for the Transcontinental Railroad either. He went and did it, and then he got people behind it. So there's a lot of people that we get together on that a lot, especially at night. Yes, ma'am. Walk, play music, and talk with everybody in this town. Literally exchange ideas. God, there's nothing better than that in this city. Is sitting down for coffee and exchanging ideas and having an intellectual exchange of what's possible, and then putting the action plan in place and doing it. So what do I love doing in the city? What the city does best. Put things into action. Yes, ma'am.
As both a tech person and creative, where do you see creativity going? Because everything's becoming so automated, like graphic design, you can do an app now and all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to see what you thought.
So number one, the creative force is going to be the driving economic force in the next 50 years. It will be what is driving the economy. So I cross over the...
I'm just trying to get, what do you think about it? What do you think they're going to be needing? Because our technology is advancing so much.
So here, I can touch on that real quick. All right, so here's what we got right now. Right now and over the next 5 years, you have a full plethora of data. Okay? And that data is being put in front of people that they don't understand. The creative minds, man, here's what really needs to happen. This is what happens in MIT Media Lab. Artists and mathematicians need to come together and work together because artists are the ones who convey stories, and stories are how you understand data. That's the only way we can get to the point where empathetic storytelling of why this data means something to you and makes you go like this and makes you make a life change. That's where the creative spirit really is going to enhance. Design of interface, design of this floor because it is automated. How it is that that we consider trust. Trust is a thing for the creatives to fully. Trust is so important in the future of what we're doing in automation. Conveying trust is only done by creatives. Anybody else got a question? No more questions? Yes, ma'am. I was like, I'll get out of here. No, I'm just joking. I'm here for you guys. Yes, absolutely. So there's going to be a lot less. Remember, this is an opinion. There's not a mathematical formula. There's a law of accelerated returns that we can follow. We can follow Little's law and queuing theory. All of these things can give us a predictive breakdown. But you're going to see a lot less emphasis on what job or what career is it that you're going to school for. That's not why you go to school. You're going to go into education for enlightenment. We're about to float back into the Enlightenment era, a whole new one. And that means thinking deeper about much richer topics and about what it is to live together and what it is to be about one race, borderless cultures and societies. That's going to come out of this new era. I wish I could live long enough to see it. I'm trying to live long enough to see it. Yes, sir. This is a personal thing that I had to do. So I had to get sober. And that's what cleared my head so I could see the numbers again. And once I did that, here's the gig, man. For those of us who have gone through something that tells us that the end of life is really easy and right there, it frees you from the aspects of failure. I've got friends who've had brain tumors, raise your hand, who've been through end-of-life situations, who have learned that you can cross over that barrier, and don't wait to learn it for yourself. Trust us. You can rebuild yourself over and over and over again. The ashes are just foundations. Failure, build back up. Failure, build back up. It's a freeing thing. That's the best thing I can explain to you, what put me on a path towards pioneering stuff. But it's the knowledge that a failure doesn't mean the end. It means it's just more. A failure is the only way you learn. And when you learn that you've only got so much time, you run. Hope that answered your question. Not really, probably. Someone else had a question? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So my question is, we were talking about Sacramento being so great. There's an article in SNR in Sacramento with Austin.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, and what do you think are the things that we need to do?
Sure. So Sacramento, in my opinion, is Sacramento. We often look for other cities to compare ourselves to because that's what humans do, and that's good. So Austin, how many people, when you think of Austin, think it's the capital of Texas? See? It's not known for being the capital. It's known for being the home of music, and nowadays, the home of South by Southwest. That's because 6th Street owned itself. And let me tell you about South by Southwest. South by Southwest didn't start out as a tech conference or a talking conference. It started out as a bunch of punks playing punk who weren't getting signed elsewhere and decided to put on a showcase. Head down to Soul Collective and you'll see what it is to put on a showcase of locals who might not be getting enough attention. Soul Collective address.
2574 21st Street.
Go. What Austin did well was it owned itself. What Austin didn't do well was it didn't protect its downtown for the creatives. The creatives have moved out of the downtown area, and it's very corporate downtown. I still love Austin. It's a fantastic city. It's the only city I want to go to in Texas. But on the, I mean, Dallas is okay, but it's not the same Austin that it was because it's gone so far over to the money making. Man, you keep the creators in the city and you find the right balance, and first of all, you're the first to do it, pioneering what it is to keep creatives in a burgeoning economy. That's what I think we need to do differently. Yes?
You were talking about gentrification of Oak Park and the Paso Heights, and I feel like I just wondered if you could speak a little bit about it. Like, there's so much creativity going into those spaces, and also gentrifying them at the same time. And how do creatives bringing awesome mom and pop shops and awesome art and great coffee and all that be aware and be woke about those communities and not gentrify?
So get into them. No, get into them. Walk, and I don't mean like move into them. I mean like walk in them. So first of all, I'm not the best person to talk about gentrification. I moved downtown, but we also chose to move into a new house because we didn't want to take one that was possibly renting to other people. So I mean, we literally thought about it like that. On the side of Oak Park, so Oak Park is an incredible neighborhood. 20 years ago, it was an incredible neighborhood. 50 years ago, it's always been an incredible neighborhood. I spend every Monday down there that I can because I hear what's going on from the voices in that neighborhood. And let me, here's one of the things that's probably going to give. I go into Oak Park because I knew a white man who put things on in Oak Park. I have to question myself because that's what got me into Oak Park. I have to look at who I am because that's what got me to Oak Park. And that's an honesty that I have to face. But now that I'm there, I'm listening to the stories. I'm not moving in. I'm asking why there's a white barber there. But I'm not sitting there going political on it. I'm just trying to understand what the changes are and how they can work together. This stuff is real personal to me because I don't understand a lot of it. And I'm old. And I'm starting to discover that it took me knowing Andrew for me to walk into Oak Park and just say, what's up? And to listen. I don't get up and jump around in Oak Park or talk like this. I go down and I just listen. So get in there and listen. Same thing with Del Paso Heights. I mean, I lived in Del Paso. My first memory in life is a fireman pulling me out of my crib in Del Paso Heights. Next question. I don't have a really good answer for that because I want to be honest with you. I'm working on it. We're all working on it. Yep.
I'm curious, there's a lot of talk of government and arts initiative stuff, and I'm curious if you're aware of Mayor
Yep.
STEINBERG'S whole Creative Edge and arts initiative and how you feel about that, and if you're interacting with him like he's doing an awesome job, I think, opening doors to the community for feedback, and I think everyone here should check that out as well and participate. I'm curious about you.
All right, number one, if you're asking me that question, then you're having questions about it, right?
Well, I'm curious,
No, so I guess here's my point. I've had that question more times than you can possibly imagine because they've been talking about those grants for a long time. They need to get out on the street. I was part of the group that sat down and kind of worked out what it was. I wasn't a decision maker. I wasn't a decision maker on that. We have to hold accountable discussions. So we do a lot of study missions and we come back. I'm done with study missions. Let's act. It's time to act. And that's just my personal position on it. It's like, let's get this out there and experiment and fail. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's perfect, I ain't part of it. Matter of fact, this is Yogi Berra. If the world were perfect, I wouldn't be in it. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
One more.
Actually, I'll jump over here because I hit you one time.
All right, my question's twofold. So I'm like a diehard Sacramento fan, like love Sac from the phone. I travel a lot for work, and so my question is, being on the road all the time, how can I maintain community, maintain my involvement in
So I'm going to guess that I'm probably 75% out of the town. Yeah, well, maybe 70%. I breathe on the window as I land in Sacramento. I'm not joking, man. It's like, I'm home. I mean, sometimes you'll see tweets or Facebook posts from me that's like, I'm flying into NorCal. Spend a lot of time in New York City. Spend a lot of time in Boston. As I'm in those cities, I think, why couldn't that be done here? Or what can we do? How can we do that better here? It's not necessarily being an ambassador. It's being real. Just owning who you are. And I can't wait to get home. I love being out on the road and representing the organization that I work for and the people that work with me. But more than that, I like taking action. And the place that I want to put that stuff into action is right here. I breathe on the window. I'm that guy. Well, cool.
I think we're out of time, but thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.